Hey, so I'm back filming at midnight again. I'll try and act a little energetic, but I am pretty tired. So I just finished the 12 weeks of dense. Actually, not right now, it was a bit ago, but I'm making the video now. And I just want to touch base because I did the first one, the ATG program on called Zero, where there's no equipment required and all of that. You might have seen that video. If you didn't, I will put a card up top. And then after that 12 weeks, you step it up to dense, where you include some weights and it gets a little bit harder. So I just want to do a bit of a review of that. So I think what I will do is I will screen record some of the footage from the app. Like how this program works is you pay for the app and then you record your exercises from certain angles that they want, and then you upload it into the app, and then the coaches within, I think it's 24 hours, they get back to you and they coach your form, because some of the movements are really sketchy and weird and we're not familiar with them. So if you're doing them wrong, you might be hurting yourself, or maybe just not getting the progress that you should be getting. So it's all going to be vertical video, sorry, but that's what I have because that's what's from the app. And also I wanted to say something else. What was it? Oh, it's that I will be showing stuff from Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because Tuesday, Thursday, they're also days, but they're more like week stuff and kind of, I don't know. If you know the program, you know what I'm talking about. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday are like the meat and potatoes. There's 4 exercises each day on the Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the dense program. And each day, ROKP is the first thing. I think that's reverse out knee pain. So what you can do for that is either walk backwards, or what I do, walk backwards on a treadmill. You don't turn on, you just kind of put your butt against the display of it, and then you just push against the resistance. And if you have a sled that you can kind of like push at a gym or something, then that's even better, but I don't have access to that. So I'm not including any of that. Just know that every day, that is the first of 4 exercises that I do. What else do I want to say? Oh, I'm not going to talk about the sets and reps and all of that, because I did notice that it changed mid-program sometimes, and I would message the coach like, hey, like this used to say this, now it says this, what do I do? Why did you change it? And they just say that it's all the programs, like it's such a new concept kind of, that they're still developing and tweaking and making fine adjustments all of the time. So even if I did remember the sets and reps, it would kind of be pointless for me to say them right now, because by the time you're watching this in the future, it might all be different. So just, yeah, I might mention some reps, but like don't count on me for accuracy here on the reps. And then after we do the kind of comparison of my first day and last day of the dense program to see progress, I want to see if I made any muscle gains on my legs. I wasn't doing leg days at the gym or anything, I was just doing this. And I did a bit of upper body here and there, just at the gym anyway, because it's fun. So all the exercises are from dense, but when we look at the muscle comparison after, it's not just muscle from the 12 weeks of dense. I'm going to be comparing the 12 weeks of dense, and then even before that, the 12 weeks of zero. So really it's 24 weeks. I'll compare before I started zero to the end of dense and see if I made some gains. Okay, so with Nordic curls, this looks like I'm not even trying, but I really was. This is day 1. I couldn't even fight it on the way down, and then I was just pushing back up and really curling my legs under the weight rack. It cramped my leg and hurt to even bend my legs to get them under that in the first place. So yeah, very humble beginnings, but I have grown to really like the Nordic curl actually. And then we will fast forward in a second to the last day of the program, and you can see all my improvement here. I'm much better at fighting the eccentric. Now you see I think you're supposed to try to keep your thighs in line with your torso, like one straight line, which I tried to do forever, and I thought that bending was cheating. But then I saw some videos from Ben Patrick saying it's okay to bend at the hips because that will help you to get more out of it, almost like a bit of a regression. So I started to do that more and more and more, because if I tried to stay like completely aligned, I would just collapse at like a 10-degree bend. I think I'm really torso heavy, so this is actually really difficult for me. I also had a torn left hamstring about a year and a half or a year ago, and that was not fully healed, definitely, but as I continued to do these, I did notice it got a lot better. I am nowhere near the goal for these, but the 12 weeks is up, and in the next program, standard, those 12 weeks also include these, so I'm looking forward to making more progress. Yeah, way better than that, hey? So that's a win. Here is what you do after the Nordic curls. It's a reverse Nordic, and this is how I had to start. Make sure that you have padding under your knees, and then over the program I worked up to this. You can't really see, but my feet are back behind me on top of these children's chairs. It's the only thing at that house that I could find that was a good level. And my knees are on a pillow,
And yeah, you just go all the way back. If you guys have looked up Ben Patrick on YouTube and seen his reverse Nordic, that crap is crazy and it freaks people out. So I'm working towards being able to do this and leaning back all the way until my back is flat on the ground on my legs. It's kind of like a human knee extension, and it's pretty cool. Moving on to one exercise from the Wednesday sessions. This is the ATG split squat, and it is the big main movement that Ben is obsessed with. Sorry, my brother was filming this. I don't know why I just didn't set my camera on the ground, but I believe those are 10-pound dumbbells, and this is the very beginning of the program. And here is the end of it. You can see the control way better. I am capable of doing it without lifting that front foot heel off the ground. That's something that you're supposed to work up to in zero, but I just switch it up sometimes. In dense, I lift it so that I can get my knee even further over my toes than normal, and sometimes I keep my knee down. This totally gassed me doing these. Like, the cardio was unbelievably difficult for me, which is crazy, so that's not an issue anymore. And also my adductors, the inside of my thigh, was super sore for days and days and days after these, but I did end up working myself up to, I think, a top set of 20-pound dumbbells each, which is great. And moving on quickly to Fridays, this is what you start with. It's the quote-unquote buy-in for the next exercise. You do about 15 reps of that first thing, and then this thing, and then some calf raises, and then you do 3 rounds of that. So 15, 15, 15, 3 times. You see I have a 35-pound dumbbell here. Every single week I pretty much was adding 5 pounds to that dumbbell. And yeah, grew some calves kind of, which is nice. And then, yeah, you move on to this. So here's the very first time I ever did it. It's the VMO squat. So I had to elevate my heels on some dumbbells, just use a wedge or whatever you have around. And you can see how slowly I'm going. It's kind of a sketchy movement, putting your knees way out in front of you. The key is to push your knees way out in front of you as much as you can and keep your thighs level and your torso upright instead of you're going to want your knees to come up like a normal squat when you do it, but fight that and learn to push them way out forwards as far over your toes as you can. Throughout the program of dense, I did buy a couple things like the monkey feet you saw on the stairs I was just using in the last exercises. And here I have a slant board, and you can see the progress I've made. By the last day of this program, I'm going way faster, and you'll see I'm not straightening my legs at the top. I used to think that was a better rep if you did it, but again, learning more from Ben Patrick, he was saying it's fine if you don't do that at the top. In fact, it's even better because there's more tension, and wow, did I hit a wall there. Just out of nowhere, right? Going fast, going fast, going fast. I think the goal is 10 sets of 10 for that. Trying to show a pump, but you can't see it with those old tattoos, and now you can't see it because I'm too pasty. But whatever. Oh, there's that VMO. The muscle's coming in. Not bad for some tall, long, skinny legs, but we'll see where it goes. Yeah, the light's blowing my skin out again. Hang on, I think I adjust it here. It's a funny angle. My calves actually look thicker than my thighs here, which is definitely not the case, but it's fun to dream. These are called ATG seated good mornings, and it's the last thing that you do on Fridays. Kind of weird, not sure why I'm including them, but I had some clips. This is the day one. You see I'm rounding my back a little bit at the bottom, and then I run out of room, so I'm curling my arms up so the dumbbells don't hit the ground. Now, when I sent it in through the app, the form checkers were like, dude, like, no, don't bend your back at all. So every single week I had to kind of slowly adjust this form. You're kind of trying to stretch your adductors, your inner thighs as you go down through the force. If that makes any sense. You can see here, I'm going more slowly and I'm getting a stretch and strengthening the inside of the thighs there. And instead of curling my arms, since I don't have as much range of motion when I do it properly, I just shrug up a little bit to get more distance. Mess around with how you push through your toes or your heels into the ground until you kind of feel a cool stretch and strengthen in your inner thighs. Moving right along into a side-by-side. This isn't the best, like I obviously didn't move the same way at the same time, but yeah, just before and after. I've got a little bit less hair on the right after. Yes, I'm pasty. Maybe one of these times I'll get a spray tan or something so you can see actually how my legs are shaped, but figured I would just throw these clips together, same lighting situation, and then I thought I was kind of cheating the results with that bad lighting, so here's some different lighting. Again, these are all in the morning. There's no pump. There's nothing like that. It's just pasty me, pasty walls, pasty light, pasty life. So yeah, I don't know how to flex. Just doing a little dance. But I think this is a way better spot for showing off any leg gains, so I'll use this as the standard going forward. So the measurements. Literally 23 on the right leg, and on the left leg,
23.
My left calf, 14 3/4. My right calf, 14 3/4.
And this is right from my Instagram story, so it's a good side by side. Yes, my legs are angled differently and the lighting's a bit different, but you can undeniably see more muscle on the right side there. Yes, I gained 10 pounds, but you can see the measurements are different, and just it's kind of night and day. Like, you cannot deny leg gains were made. Here's a bit more of a close up. And yeah, all I was doing was this program and eating normally. Oh, and I may or may not have grown a tibialis.
Yeah, that's all the clips I have. A few final points. I did want to say that as far as my knee pain goes, it didn't just get better. Like, some people online or wherever you're reading or watching footage might just act like they started this program and like everything just became awesome and they could do everything all the time and it's such a godsend. And I felt more of that during zero than during dense. So I don't know if I was, maybe my form wasn't awesome all the time, or maybe I don't really know why, or maybe it's just as you give more stimulus to your ligaments and tendons and all of that, there's going to be more aches and pains. But the feeling of goodness in my knees is trending up in the right direction, right? Like, I'll have more days that are good, like most of them are really good, but I'll still have a bad day where I go to do my exercises and within the first couple of reps, I'm just like, oh, uh-oh. And I used to try to like ease off a little bit and still push through without like pain, but I discovered, at least for me, that isn't even worth it. Because if I lower the weight or use assistance or lower the range of motion or all three sometimes, and I get through it with just like 5% pain instead of 90%, I'm like, nice, like I still got the workout in, I feel accomplished. No, for me, that's bad, because then the next couple of days I hurt, and then I make it even worse with the next exercises, and it kind of like gets out of control a little bit. So I really need to check my ego at the door and maybe take the same advice. It's smarter to just kind of skip the workout for these, I think, if you can't regress it to the point where there's no pain, right? If you can regress it to the point where there's absolutely 0% pain per rep, don't feel like a pussy. Like, that's the smarter thing to do for that day. So, you know, I still do have bad days randomly, but most of them are good. And my good days now are way better than my good days before I started, if that makes sense. Again, it's late. I'm kind of rambling. Sorry, but yeah. And I just remembered I was going to have another section, kind of a third section, the first being the exercises, the second being talking about my gains, and the third was going to be matching what I did on the zero video, where I threw in the metric of, hey, did I increase my vertical jump? So I really thought that because the VMOs were being worked on the slant board squats, the knees over toes squats, like that's the main muscle in jumping. So I thought, like, dude, although I only gained 1 inch doing the zero program, that maybe I'll gain 2 or 3. Like, I don't know how fast you gain vertical inches at all, but I was really pumped. So I went out and I recorded a whole bunch, jumping at the same place, the same way, slapping chalk up on the wall, recording it, and I gained 0, in Coach Greg's words. 0.
A 0.
So that sucks, but I did, like, if I'm looking for any like positive there, I jumped a lot of times and my knees didn't hurt from it, but I just didn't make any gains. Now, the program isn't meant to increase your vertical anyway. I think I would have to go and do an actual jumping program alongside this, but this will get me to the point where if I chose one day to actually work on my vertical, that I would be in a position where my knees don't hurt and I could do that. But yeah, I've got footage of the jumps, but I won't include them because it's pointless. Anyway, the program, I loved it. On to standard, and we'll just go from there. Anyway, comment below. Let me know if you're doing this. Let me know if you're not doing this. Comment for the algorithm. Like, subscribe. Felt gross to say. Anyway, see you guys.